So my wee bra Taylor, my wee sister Kimberly went one way, me and my youngest sister Sammy Jo went the other way. And my youngest sister Sammy Jo was that young, she ended up getting adopted. So I was left myself, and like it was chaotic. In the gang life, right, like in these schemes, like I ain't the only one with fucking problems, know what I mean? All the boys in the gang have got problems at home. They've had problems growing up. They've had problems with their parents. Had a lot of shit going on. My whole life I've listened to New Monkey and dance music. At the end of my sentence I started listening to hip hop, Tupac, Eminem, that Biggie, and fucking one of my boys Donnelly that I met in Polmont. Shout out Donnelly, man, shout out all your brothers and all, man. Fucking one of my best pals to this day. I met him in Polmont, but he had a big stack of hip hop CDs. I'd go to his door every rec and I'd be like, he's one I've not listened to. But with the Scottish rap scene, it's like we went through a phase where it was kinda blown up. Shogun took it to the next level, went viral, and Sherlock McCroy was blown up, hitting over 100,000 views and that. It was popping, you know what I mean? And like something happened that like, and it died down again and went back down to like normal.
So welcome to another session of Social Sessions with Danny Kelly, the music rapper from Scotland, and loads of other stuff, Danny, we're going to talk about today. So just tell us a wee bit about yourself, Danny, and what you're doing now.
Well, I'm 29, 30 this year. I've just released my first album, my third album, Empathy Free. It's doing quite well. Released a couple of music videos for it, so it's just real rap, know what I mean? It's all emotion, it's all pain, it's all real life, know what I mean? You can relate to it. So check out Empathy Free, but that's what I'm focusing on now. I'm just trying to make as much music as I can possible. Just putting out track after track, keeping busy, doing everything I can to get my name out there, get the message out there, try and get people to relate, try and help people as much as I can with the music.
Obviously, it was just recent you were the supporting act for Mobb Deep, is that right?
Aye, in January.
And what was that like? What was that experience like? I mean,
That's the highlight of my career, man, honestly.
I can imagine.
It's the highlight of my career, man. I grew up listening to Mobb Deep. Know what I mean? I first discovered Mobb Deep when I watched 8 Mile.
Aye.
And they're playing the instrumental when Eminem's in the bathroom about to battle, and fucking I was like, what is that beat? Know what I mean? And I ended up finding it, and I ended up finding Mobb Deep. I started listening to them, collected all their albums. So growing up, and then when I got the opportunity to do it, I was like, of course I'll do it. Know what I mean? 110% I'm going to fucking perform for Mobb Deep. And I got to meet them, I performed for them, smashed it. I got to meet them after it, and I was just basically saying to Havoc, like, what advice have you got for up-and-coming artists? He's like, stay consistent, keep putting out as much as you can, keep motivated, just keep doing you, man. And I was like, big love, bro. Know what I mean? We got a photo together, we got fucking... He signed my book, and he signed my album.
What was it like as a person to have to meet? Was he just right down to earth and that? Brand new,
he's calm as fuck, know what I mean? He talks quite slow and that, he's calm, but he's like, you can tell you're in the presence of a legend, know what I mean? He's fucking, it was a surreal moment, man, honestly.
So I'll take you back, obviously right back, Danny, right? We'll go back to your childhood and all that. And so where was it you kind of grew up? What area was it you grew up?
So I was born in the Rotten Road in 95. My mum and dad and me, we moved about a bit. Then we settled in Easterhouse, Wellhouse. I think that scheme's called Torrin. I don't really remember. But we settled in Easterhouse. Then my wee bra was born, Taylor. God rest his soul. My wee sister was born, Kimberly. Shout out Kimberly. My youngest sister, Sammy Jo, she was born. Then shit started going downhill. I think my mum and dad, they couldn't cope with 4 wins, know what I mean? They started taking a lot of drugs. My mum was an alcoholic. She was going through psychosis. She ended up getting sectioned. My dad was left with us. He ended up going through psychosis as well, know what I mean? So one day, I was meant to go to school. He's like, you're not going to school today, I'm going to teach you how to fight. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he whipped out a big massive samurai sword. And he's like, you just aim for the head, son. You know what I mean? I'm fucking like 6-year-old, 5-year-old, know what I mean? And I'm like, what are you talking about that? He's wearing a 3-piece suit, right? with a Celtic tap underneath it. And I'm just like, that's not my dad. He looks like my dad, but I'm like, that's not my dad. I can remember that feeling. And I was scared, know what I mean? And like, it was getting to the point where I was missing school. It was getting to the point where I was like, Dad, I want to go to school. And he's like, in a minute, I'll get you up and all that. And he didn't get me up. So I ended up walking to school myself. And it was like 10 o'clock or something. And the teachers were like, where's your parents? Know what I mean? How'd you get here? And I was like, I just walked here myself. And I think that was the first report to like social work. Know what I mean? Social work ended up at the door. Fucking, before you know it, we were all getting dragged into care. For the first day I entered care, I was destined for two things, man. The loony bin or prison, know what I mean? Definitely, I was destined for darkness, man. And
you hear that quite a lot, didn't you, Danny, for people that were in care? Like, that is the kind of motto.
It is, man.
Was that kind of like residential care you were going into, or
foster care?
Foster care. So obviously looking at your dad and all that, and can you see now, like, maybe obviously you've grew up a lot, and can you say that maybe he had maybe something that was driving him, maybe traumatic experiences in his life or whatever, do you know what I mean? And maybe even your ma as well, that maybe just that intergenerational trauma that people talk about, and I see it quite a lot. It's like a kind of revolving door, and you've been excellently been able to fucking stop that at this point, you know what I mean? Which is brilliant, Danny. But how did that make you feel when just things started going? Was it just pure fear in the house, like just like?
I remember being scared. Like, Easter House was a dodgy place at the time. I mean, there was like, I used to look at my veranda and I'd see Easter House fighting with the Barrel gang fighting every night. They would fight, and I would watch it and I'd be scared. Know what I mean? And like, I remember a guy walked past the close. He had a big knife sticking out his back, and he walked past the close, and I seen all the blood dripping. And that I seen him try to pull it out, and he was staggering past the close. And I remember, like, I was scared. I couldn't sleep at night. Like, it was nightmares and that. Know what I mean? And like, I was seeing a lot of dark shit. We were getting neglected as well. My dad was like, he was going out getting drugs, fucking staying out, and just leaving me in the house with my wee brother and sister. I was 6 years old, nothing talking about. And fucking, I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know how to stop these Wayne's greeting. I don't know what to do. And fucking, it was just constant fear and scare. And it was like, but don't get me wrong, see, when I went into foster care, I wanted to go back to that.
Because it is inherently you're always going to want your parents.
Aye,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
So even if it's chaotic as fuck, you're inherently going to want your parents, and then you're just always going to be living on that hope that they change. Do you know what I mean? Which is sad, obviously, Danny. But so obviously, like, you went through that. What was the first foster kind of family like that you went to? Was it like a different house altogether?
Aye, it was. So I was unsettled. So when we went into foster care, split me, aye. So my wee brother Taylor, my wee sister Kimberly went one way. Me and my youngest sister Sammy Jo went the other way. And my youngest sister Sammy Jo was that young. She ended up getting adopted. So I was left myself. And like, it was chaotic. I was getting violent. I was fucking scared. I was getting bullied. I was like, I ended up moving from foster home to foster home because I was so unsettled. Every time I went to foster home, I felt like I didn't belong there. I felt like I was just, like, I was like being a burden, get me? I felt like I was being annoying or something, like I was a nuisance to them. Because seeing homes, you don't get compassion, you don't get love. They're no like I know I'm talking about abuse and that, but like, they're no like give you a cuddle when you're crying or you're missing your parents. They're no like comfort you, and they're just like to talk to you. That's it. So when you're grown up, like 6, 7, 8 year old, and you've not had a cuddle in like 3, 4 years, it fucks with you mentally. You know what I mean?
Studies that show like, I don't know if you ever seen like the Romanian. It was like the Romanian ones where they were just used to go back and forth and all that. Like, and that was because there was no human interaction. There was no like human touch. Like, people were talking to them and stuff, but they were just left in cots and they were just hanging. So that must have been really hard, Danny. I can't imagine. Like,
it was. I just wanted my mom and my dad. I just wanted a cuddle. Nothing to talk about. Just wanted my mom and dad. Like, see, when I went into foster care, because my dad was going through that stuff, my mom was sectioned. Like, I went through, like, basically a year and a half with a visit. So I went the first year and a half with a fucking visit, and all this madness is happening in these homes. I'm getting moved and moved. I'm not like to see my brother and my sister. My youngest sister's been adopted. So, like, I just want to see my parents so badly. And it turns up my social worker's like, right, we've sorted a visit for 2 weeks. Christmas. It was Christmas to me, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm going to see my parents. Thank fucking God, I've waited so long.
Aye.
The 2 weeks I couldn't sleep. It was brilliant. I was looking so forward to it. Turned up to the visit. They didn't turn up.
Soul destroying, pure gut
Like,
wrenching.
that was the first day in my life where I thought about hurting myself. I didn't know about hanging myself or slitting my wrists or nothing. I didn't know all that. I wasn't exposed to that. But I knew I wanted to hurt myself. I mean, I knew I wanted to do something. I didn't want to be here anymore. Know what I mean? And fucking the months went past. Ended up getting a visit. They turned up. It was brilliant. I was like, Mom and Dad, I was like, are you better now? Can I come home? And they're like, a couple of months turned into a couple of years, didn't it? Before you know it, man, fucking the visit stopped again because I was getting unsettled. We went another year with a visit, and fucking it was just chaotic. I'm at primary school now, and fucking I'm getting bullied in school because I've no got big brothers, I've no got big cousins, I'm no fae the scheme where the school is. And it's not just that, you're getting bullied in school and you're going back to the house and you feel like you don't belong here, know what I mean? And you feel like
There's no safe space, is
there's
there?
nothing. It's like 24/7. Like, it's just fucking anxiety. It's chaos. It's fucking, and you're constantly missing your parents. You're missing your siblings, and it's madness. Know what I mean? I grew up like that for years, and then fucking I ended up getting obsessed with football. So like, I got a football. I would practice out the back garden. I would practice all day. I was like, I'm going to be the next Henrik Larsson, know what I mean?
Aye.
I got obsessed with it. Like, if I wasn't kicking the ball about, I was in the gaff playing Pro Evolution Soccer,
Aye.
or I was watching Celtic DVDs, whatever, man. But like, I started learning how to forget about the pain, forget about school, forget about missing, and focus on something that I enjoyed. And it was football at the time. So like, that went on until I was like 9, and then I started getting obsessed with gang life, know what I mean? I wanted to be a part of the gang. I wanted to be one of the boys, know what I mean? So I started obsessing with that. I started running away for the home. I was getting my pals for school, and we were going down the scheme. We were gang fighting. I was like this height, know what I mean?
Aye.
The older mob are like, that wee guy's not coming with us to fight, know what I mean? That's not happening.
Aye.
And they're all arguing, lads, just let him come, fuck's sake, know what I mean? And I ended up getting to go, and I'm watching all this gang fighting. I'm like, this is fucking amazing, man. And I'm making pals, and like, the gang became my family, and fucking then they moved
Is that
me.
the first time you'd kind of felt part of something?
Aye,
Aye.
definitely.
So it was like that. Because I always talk about connection being so important, right? And how, like, that, especially when you've come from that traumatic background, right? So people go like, I mean, how can you make the choice of going like violence and get? But it's no, it's your now feeling people have got your back. You're feeling safe there. You're feeling safe for these people for the first time in your life. So you've got that connection that you've never had before. Do you know what I mean? So no, it's interesting that you say that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's obviously kind of it's a kind of running theme through this podcast. With a lot of guys that talk is that traumatic background and then feeling that connection elsewhere. Danny, you know what I mean? So I on you go like.
Sorry. So I get moved home, right? So I moved for all the gang, I moved for all my pals I've made. And I'm like, fucking hell, man. That was amazing. But like, I moved again and I need to start all over again. And fucking, but I moved to Pollock. And then by this time I'm in secondary school, I'm in first year. So I started thinking about with the Pollock, the cross. And I'm gang fighting with all them and all that. I'm doing the same shit. I'm starting to smoke green, well, hash at the time. And fucking, I'm getting mad with it and that, and feeling that family vibe again, and then fucking I'm loving it. But I started causing shit in school. I got expelled. So my foster carer moved us to another school, Bellahouston. So I ended up making new pals in Bellahouston. Started dogging it again, started causing it. But by that time, I started thinking about Ibrox. And
see, during all this time, right? Just a quick. Does anybody ever come to you and go? Was there ever anybody like what offered you to do trauma work, or like was there ever anybody that came and offered you to do like Do you know that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Aye.
Like come and look at where this isn't your fault, Danny. Did anybody ever explain that to you? But this isn't your fault. This
No,
is.
it wasn't until my mother died that I started getting counselling and I started doing programs.
Where did you then, Danny?
15.
Wow. So that's like basically your full childhood, and not one person's ever came and asked to do a battle up with you. And
No, not until I was 15.
mental. Right, on you go. So Bella Houston.
So I'm jumping about Ibrox and I'm meeting the best pals. Still pals I've got to this day, you know what I mean? And fucking, I'm not even got to school anymore. 8 in the morning, I'm got my pal Frankie's. We're getting stoned at our nuts. Spend the full day, go back to the foster care after 3 o'clock. Fucking, she's getting off her nut and all that. Then she packed me out. I ended up, got a home. I went a home in Dalmarnock.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalmarnock, it's called Baltic, know what I mean? But it's called Dalmarnock. And it's violent as fuck, know what I mean? I thought Ibrox was violent. Ibrox is violent, know what I mean? But Dalmarnock is the same, man. It's fucking... They fight with the Brigton and that.
Is that wee bit into it? There's a bit.
Mm-hmm. And they're all violent as fuck. So I started thinking about where I aimed into. And I'm got to the Orange Walks now. I'm a Celtic fan, right? But I'm got to the Orange Walk where I aim. And they're all stabbing fuck at each other at Orange Walks and all that. Fucking, it's chaos. They're fighting with Parkhead. I remember a boy were fighting with Parkhead, and the older mob, they caught one of the Parkhead, and one of the boys snapped a golf club off his skull, know what I mean? And the golf club actually snapped, and there's bits of fucking golf club sticking out his skull. He's unconscious, like, and I'm like, he's dead. I'm like, wow, man, he's dead. And fucking, went back at home, and it turns out he was alright, and he fucking just spent a couple of days in hospital, whatever. And I was like, that's how easy it is.
Is this so hangy? But no, you is this so like, so see, like through the homes, you just getting more desensitized and desensitized.
The more I'm hanging about with gangs and that, the more the gang fighting I'm witnessing, the more fucking. Even at schools and that, there was a lot of violence, know what I mean?
I know, definitely. And I think even like for you, for young age, for your dad and all that, teaching you with swords and that, and even just having that in your head, these things that you're, as we were talking about earlier, you're like a sponge when you're a wee guy, you know what I mean?
You observe everything.
So you're observing that, and then you're probably thinking, like, and then obviously the stuff you know what I speak about, but there's obviously violent stuff that you've went through in the homes and all that. So, I mean, violence has become, the system's normalised that to you, isn't it? Really?
Aye.
Like, it's allowed you to go, right, well, that's desensitised me to that, so this is what's I'm good at. I'm good at going out and...
What I've always said is, see, when you don't have love, you have hate.
Aye.
So if you're not getting love, if you're not getting loved, all you've left with is hate. You learn to be good at hate. You learn to be good at violence, be good at fucking the madness, know what I mean? Because the madness is all you fucking got, know what I mean? So, like, the madness is all I had. So it's all I loved. I learned to love the madness, love the hate. Yeah, it was like, I was so confused as a kid growing up, know what I mean? I was so fucking confused, but...
You get addicted to that chaotic lifestyle,
You
don't
do,
you?
aye,
It's
definitely.
Like, it's a buzz. You're feeling part of something.
Aye.
All this kind of shit. There's loads of stuff going on that people go, like, this is where people don't see how coming from working class areas and stuff like that, and people understand, go, how do you... It's the same story all the time, nearly, Danny. Do you know what I mean? It is. It's the same story. You hear it so many times. And when you're connecting with boys on the street, and you're maybe going to like Bella Houston, you're going to Polmont, they've had the same shit happening to them. So he's all gang. He's become together because you get each other.
Aye.
Because as a kid, like I came from quite a good loving home, right? So I had pals, but that used to go like come in and out of kit, and I couldn't get what they were talking about. But I knew then other people would get. But I wouldn't know what they were talking about. Do you know what I mean? So that probably would be the same as you know what I mean? But I on you go. So it's like
it's like in the gang life, right? Like in these schemes, like I ain't the only one with fucking problems. Know what I mean? All the boys in the gang have got problems at home. They've had problems growing up. They've had problems with our parents. Had a lot of shit going on. So it's like you learn to be violent. You learn that violence stops you from, like, almost feeling sorry for yourself. Like, as they say, being weak. You don't want to be weak. You don't want to let all the stuff that's going on in the background affect you. You want to be
It's an outlet, isn't it? It's an outlet. It lets you. It's like as much as it's not the right outlet. It's an outlet.
It's still an outlet. It's how we expressed ourselves growing up. It is. It's like nobody ever taught us how to express ourselves differently. We were taught how to express ourselves through violence, through gang fighting, through fucking drugs, everything, man. So like,
well, imagine somebody came to you, right, just to even say when you were 11, right, and went, Danny, there's a music class on here, like a music therapy class, right? Because we all know how much you love music. Music therapy class. Who knows where you'd have went?
exactly.
Do you know what I'm talking about? But you're never even, nobody's even gave you the opportunity. You're just rattled through all this shit, and then you pick up all these behaviours that suit you well, because that's the behaviours that are allowing you to survive in a fucking jungle. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what you're in. Do you know what I mean? You're in a survival mode. You're never coming out to fight or flight. You're never really getting any time to calm yourself down and think. So you're getting...
And when it's time to think, you're full of drugs, so you're not thinking properly.
Aye, definitely, bro. Definitely.
Aye, man.
But aye, on you go. So it's
So, like, I'm in Kilmarnock. I'm like 13, right? I get moved again. Moved out of the West End. But I met a boy, Bugsy, shout out Josh Addison, one of my best pals, right? Still to this day. I met him and we went on the fucking rampage, man. We started robbing everything in the West End. We'd go into shops in the morning, rob our booze, go out, get mad with it. Then we would go rob cunts with blades. Like, fucking... So I met him, right? But at the same time, I'll go back a bit. I hadn't seen my dad in about a year and a bit, or my ma. And I got a letter through the door inviting me to a panel. And it had my mum and dad's address on it. I said to my pal in the home, I was like, do you know where this is? And he's like, I shit you not, my mother lives in the next block to your parents.
That's fake.
He's like, I can take you there. I know exactly how to get there. Know what bus to get. So the next day we ran away from the home. We went up, chat my mom's door. My dad's answered. My mom's like, who is it? My dad's like, it's Daniel. And she's like, what? I'm like, what's fucking happening? Know what I mean? And fucking we ended up getting in and talking away to him. We got a catch up, whatever. Went back to home. I ran away the next day, went back up, seen him again. And fucking ended up getting up there every day.
Were you always seeking that family thing,
I loved
Danny?
it. Know what I mean? So I was running away from home every day. Me and my pal Bugsy would go up to my dad's. He let us get mad with it, whatever, man. We fucking out, I'm nuts. But we ended up robbing, like, every night we were out robbing, fucking just hoarding cunts up at unis, know what I mean? Like with blades and that, taking their phones, taking their wallets, whatever, jewellery and that. We ended up stealing tom-toms. We're smashing all these taxis, stealing their tom-toms. And we went through this for about 6 months or something. And I ended up getting to jail for the first time. I'm up at court and fucking... So, like...
Is that High Court or Sheriff?
No, Sheriff. So, like, I think I was 13 at the time. So, like, I had 100 previous, know what I mean? I kept getting to jail that much, and for thefts, for breaches, for vandalisms, for fucking assault and robberies, whatever, right?
So this is 100 previous at 13-year-old?
Aye.
And nobody's ever came and says to you, let's do some trauma work?
No, man. I had 100 previous, right? But what was happening was, I was that young, every time I was getting to jail, it was only for 6 hours, then the home would come pick you up, they would let you out. They would send your report to the panel. So I had all these charges at the panel. I went to the panel, and the panel's like, you've got 100 fucking charges, know what I mean? Like, you need to go to court. We're not dealing with this. We're sending this to court. Sent it to court, man. Fucking never adjourned it. But I've ended up getting the jail for an assault and robbery. I got remanded. Then I got sentenced. Sentenced to 10 months. And fucking that was the first time I was locked up. I was in St Mary's secure unit. And...
Is that an eye-opener?
I was always...
Were you used to it?
I was used to the homes and residentials and that, but like, they always say to me, you're going to be insecure soon, you're going to be insecure soon, and fucking, they always try to fill my head with, oh, you're going to get done, you're going to get this, and this is going to happen to you, know that. So I always had that in my head, like, I need to be really violent in here when I get in here, know what I mean? So when I got there, I was like, any cunt, man, I'm just going to fucking boil my kettle, I don't give a fuck, know what I mean? But I ended up making a lot of pals in there. But anyway, fucking coming to the end of my sentence, a boy comes in for stabbing one of my best pals. See, I was talking about Frankie. stabbed fucking him, nearly killed him. He came in the same unit, he got remanded, and fucking, he started boasting about it and all that. And he's like, to me, where you for? I'm like, aye, Brooks. And he's like, is Frankie your pal? Aye. And I was like, aye. And he's like, lucky I never murdered him, that. And I was a wee guy. I was like 13 at the time, know what I mean?
Age is he?
16.
16.
So he's a bigger boy. He's quite muscly and that. I'm a skinny wee guy, know what I mean?
13, it's just like, see, like, that is for any normal person listening to this, it's like, just shows how extreme, like, you're talking here. Like, a 13-year-old, you're in a position where, do you know what I'm talking about? You're talking about a guy who's obviously fucking, like, violently assaulted your pal, and you're having to navigate that. Do you know what I mean? At 13, you know what I mean?
So he's like, at first I took a back seat, and I was like scared, and I was going through my head's doing overtime, and I'm like, no, fuck this. I walked straight to the kitchen, I boiled the kettle, poured the sugar in, walked right up to him, flung it all in his face, man, and he started screaming, he's trying to run out the door and all that, and I'm like, yeah, it was my fucking pal, get a dafty, man, know what I mean? And fucking, the staff are like, what the fuck, man, you've just melted his face with boiling water, and they've dragged me to my cell, and fucking the screws have come out, charged me and that. And I remember one of the staff came to my room, and he's like, Danny, we've seen violence in here, but we've never seen that kind of violence, know what I mean? Like, that's next level. Like, you're still young, know what I mean? Like,
you're still away.
Yeah, still away.
You're like, it's like, but it's what you've learned and what you've been taught. It's like you've been taught a total bad set of living behavioural stuff that sets you good in these kind of environments, because these environments you don't survive, Danny, if you don't. See, if you took that backseat, people are going to watch you taking the backseat. Now, I'm not justifying what you done, right? But people are going to watch you and then go, oh, he's an easy target, because that's the way these places work. Do you know what I mean?
That wasn't even what I was thinking about. What I was thinking about was Frankie. I was thinking about, like, I've had love for that boy since the day I met him, know what I mean? He's treated me like a wee brother. He's always looked after me. So, like, it was a love thing, know what I mean? I was like, not a chance in fucking hell, know what I mean? That am I going back to sit with my boy Frankie and say to him, oh, I shot myself, know what I mean? I didn't want to do it, and he was a bigger cunt. Like, fuck that, know what I mean?
Well, you're in that life, that's what you've
got two options.
You've got two options. And it looks as if, to be honest, you were never ever given another option. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? This is a sad thing, Danny, is like, obviously you've been able to change your life about now and stuff, but it's, the sad thing is this could have all probably not needed to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, all this stuff. So now you're 13-year-old, you're committing serious violence. You're now, how desensitized are you, man? Like, 13-year-old.
Yeah, I'm off it. I don't give a fuck anymore. I mean,
you're no caring. And you're probably seeking that validation of being, well, I can be the most violent person. I'm good at that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something that you're good at, and that's what you think that you can. The only thing you can do. This is where I argue with people a lot, because people will say, "Aye, it's a choice and stuff like that, and this and that, and you choose your date." Aye, right, I agree with that to a certain extent, but when you take a kid, and 6-year-old, 5, 6, and you put them through what you've went through, I don't know what you're expecting to come out the other side, especially when they've never done any work with you. Do you know what I mean? There should be extensive work being done with you. But that's only my opinion. I mean, people have their own opinion, but on you go, Danny.
So that basically happened, and for the first time in my life, people were treating me different after that. They were like, this wee guy's mental, know what I mean? Like, they were like, I'm not fucking with this wee guy. So they started treating me different, and I realised it, and I started liking the feeling, know what I mean? Because growing up, I was used to getting bullied, used to cunts taking the piss at me, know what I mean? And now people are like kind of putting respect on my name, know what I mean? And they're like, so you're kind of getting used to that, and you're like, aye, violence is the way to deal with shit, because the more violent you are, the more less likely you're for cunts to fuck you about or take the piss at you, know what I mean? They make you feel like shit, know what I mean? So I'm getting used to that. Anyway, I got out after my sentence. I went back to Ibrox, and I was a fucking legend, know what I mean? I was a wee guy, know what I mean? All my trips are older than me, know what I mean? They're all like 17, 16, that. And they're like, wee man's a fucking legend, know what I mean? And the first time in my life I've actually felt good about myself, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm feeling like a legend that. But anyway.
You've been validated, didn't you?
Aye.
Like, that's it.
And
You're
fucking.
seeking it's on the wrong places, but you've been validated, you know what I mean?
And fucking. But anyway, back to the turns and that. I'm getting mad with it every day and fucking just getting out my nut.
What were you taking, Danny? Just down
Valium, aye. Fucking, we were taking neckies and that and all, partying, getting mad with it. But see, the Ibrox, like, we get mad with it every day. It wasn't a weekend thing. We get our nuts every day, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And fucking, when we didn't have dough for it, we'd go out, do sat-navs, rob cunts, whatever, man. Fucking, a date selling green in the scheme, we'd go through their door, take all their shit, their tellies and everything, not just their green, we'd take their tellies, you know what I mean? And fucking, we'd sell them all, get our dough, you know what I mean, get out our nuts, and fucking we went through that routine, like, I went through that routine for the next 5 years or something, you know what I mean? Just getting out, causing it, committing crime, getting to jail again, violent and wherever I'm locked up, get out, back again, causing it, for the day I get out to the day I get to jail again, and it's just...
So again, right, I'll ask you, right, in all this time again, in the jails, all this stuff, did anybody ever come and ask you, right, let's talk about what the root cause of this is?
No. I had a couple of people, right, when I had a couple of people who were trying to, like, staff. I go on with a couple of staff in the secure, right?
Aye.
Like...
Guys that maybe get it, or maybe lived experience. Aye.
Like, so some of the staff would try and talk to me about stuff, but I always bottled everything up. Like, I couldn't talk. I was, like, I didn't want to talk about it, so I was like, I don't care about all that shit, I don't care, I'm just doing my sentence and I'm getting out. Fuck it, I'm going to get mad with it, whatever. So I care about, you know what I mean? I don't care about fucking what the fuck you're talking about, you know what I mean? It's no registering in my brain, I'm no used to it, you know what I mean?
Aye.
So, like...
In your head, they're the people that have took you away from your man, dad, took you away from...
Exactly.
Like, as much as looking back now, you can probably look back and go...
They were just trying to help.
Aye, they were trying to help, right? And but it's... when you're away and you're not registering that way, and especially if somebody's not explaining it to you, somebody's not sitting down and explaining, like, this is the reasons, and do you know what I mean? And this is what the feelings you're going to feel, and giving you maybe some work. I'm not saying you would have done it, Danny, right? But you should have the option, do you know what I mean? Like, to go through there to face fucking 60, 13-year-old and for nobody to come and do any, like, try and do any kind of trauma work with you or any kind of stuff like that. It blows my mind. It does. It blows my mind, man.
Right.
Like,
and I'm not the only one that,
no,
I mean, that
this is
happens
what I'm
to
saying.
a lot of kids in care, I mean?
The jails are full of them. Jails are full of them, do you know what I mean? And it's the abuse of power that you get in these homes as well. And there was a study that came out no long ago, and I can't even remember. But it was saying, like, they reckon like 80% or something of the kids are like physically or sexually abused in these care homes. And we've had people on before who are like the exact same, and it's kind of starting to come out now, right? Things are starting to open up, and you're starting to see things and all that. And I was talking about it yesterday, and I was going, like, what is it that you're expecting these boys to turn, like, when you take that safe place away from Wayne, and you put them into a toxic environment where they need to be what you become, right? They need to become that to be. What is it you're expecting? I don't know. I mean, how many boys did you meet that were in there that probably went on to be a successful lawyer? Or
See, the majority of people I met in the homes, I met up with them again in prison.
Are dead now.
Aye, or overdosed. Or killed herself.
Aye. And that's the sad stats. Do you know what I mean? See, if you look back at the boys you grew up with, there'll be a lot of deaths there. There'll be a lot of kind of overdoses, a lot of
life sentences as well.
A lot of people taking their own lives. This is, I mean, it's no fucking rocket science. Do you know what I mean? It's like you just take it back. But I saw anyway. On you go, right, Danny. Sorry.
Yeah, where was I? Sorry.
I think you were just kidding. You, like, obviously, like, so you were getting it. It was that cycle.
Aye, in a cycle, I get in and out of jail constant. So I'm in a secure constant. I turned 16. They shipped me to Polmont straight away. You know what I mean? And fucking the first time I'm in Polmont, Frankie's on the pass. Aye. So I go up to Polmont and everything's cushy because Frankie's well known in the jail. Not what I mean? And fucking, he's one of the boys. So most of the boys in the hall like him, and so I'm one of his boys, so he introduced me to everybody. I'm brand new. I settled in Polmont, started to like it and that. It was good and that. Frankie turned 18, went up the older halls. I got out the jail. Me and my pal Pierce, we were on a rampage, robbing everything, and fucking we set up an armed robbery. Balaclavas, we got machetes, we're in Partick, hiding in a lane, waiting for the shop to empty. Shop empty, we ran in with the balaclavas on machetes. We're like, empty the fucking till. They come picked up a chair. We try to chop him, we're hitting the chair and that. He's pressed a panic alarm, and the full shops just started going, wow, wow, wow. Well, 5 minutes away from Anderson police station, know what I mean? And fucking we ran out the shop. I'm just following Pierce, we followed him. He's fucking ran into another shop into Balaclava doing. And fucking, I'm like, what are you doing, man? He's like, get the fucking money out. And the guy's like, what are you doing, Pierce? And he's like, it's no fucking Pierce, get the money out. And fucking, that was the worst attempt at an Irish accent ever, but that's what he tried to do in this shop, right? And fucking, he's trying to chop the cunt, he's whipped at a shutter pole, we started fucking swinging this thing like Zorro, the two of them are going at it. I've just grabbed 2 cases of beer, ran out the shop, man, the sirens are all going everywhere. I've ran, I'm sparked the beers, I'm drinking all these beers, man. I flung my machete at a fence, I fucking took my balaclava off, I'm running like fuck. Riot van pulls up, they started chasing us. We go to the Boatman Hill, the other riot van, pulled in, fucking they've let the dogs out and all that. I'm fucking shit scared of dogs, know what I mean? I've just lay on the flare and fucking we go to the jail. And honestly, see that moment, I was like, we are fucked. We are going to get at least 7 years, know what I mean? We are getting fucked for this. And it broke me a bit, right? And I'm in Polmont, and I'm like, fuck this. And fucking, I'm just attacking cunts. I can't cope with it, know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I've got no family support either. So, like, I'm in the jail with nobody. All I've got is my pals in different halls, and fucking, I'm trying to process, I'm going to be in here for the next 4 or 5 years, know what I mean? And I can't hack it, and fucking, I'm just attacking people. I'm seeing all these enemies I'm having for the gang fighting growing up. I'm just attacking them on sight, and fucking, they're attacking me back. And I got to the point where I was doing the digger for 3 days at a time. I'd come back up, fucking put the pass man try and stop me up. I'm attacking him, back doing the digger for another 3 days. It got to the point where I'd attacked like 16 cunts in the space of 3 months, right? And fucking they gave us a month rule in the digger.
Mm-hmm.
And at this time, they didn't give you a telly doing a month rule in the digger.
Aye.
So you're doing the digger for a month with a fucking telly, and all you can hear is cunts fucking screaming, arguing with screws, not all you can, it's madness, right? And fucking...
Did that ever cross your mind that, see, when you were in there, when you were just your thoughts, not, did that ever cross your mind, like, to take your own life and all that kind of stuff? And
no employment, no.
Were you kind of just like...
I just wanted to be violent.
It
was more violence I wanted to do. I wanted to attack screws and that. I wanted to just be violent, know what I mean? And fucking, I was so angry, you know what I mean? I was so raging at myself that I'd done these turns and literally got nothing for them, nothing to show for them, know what I mean? I'm going to be doing 4 or 5 years and I've got fuck all to show for it. And like, I was so fucking raging, know what I mean? And like, I went back up the hall after a month through, I attacked another boy, fucking the screws grabbed me, they've slammed me off a gun, my head smacked off a gun, and my full face is all out purple, and fucking they've flung me in my cell, and I'm fucking on the buzzer, I'm kicking the door, I'm like, come in for a square go, so you're talking to the screws, they've swung my door open, and I'm like, right, fucking, no, right here, they just fucking opened the door, like, right, morning, and I'm like, come in then, and they were like, sit in your bed, you wee fucking idiot, and I'm like, what? And they're like, well, what, I talk to you, sit in your fucking bed. I'm sat in my bed, and it's one of the good screws in on it, I mean, and he's like, what is gonna fucking take for you to fucking settle down? He's like, you can't go through your full sentence doing this, you're gonna end up with more sentences, you're never gonna get out. They're like, what is it gonna fucking take for you to calm down?
So there was a few guys in there trying to kind of help.
Aye. Some of the screws were dogs, not I mean,
just starting to get a better name now.
Aye.
Like, when I was there, like, it's starting to get, like, they are trying to kind of speak to boys. I don't know, you'll be able to tell us if that is the case, Danny.
Some of the screws are dogs, and 1 or 2 of them are fucking brand new, know what I mean?
Aye.
You can ask them for shit and they'll do shit for you and get it done. So the screw's talking to me, and he's like, what's it going to fucking take? And I don't know why, I just had to be, give me the pass. And he's like, You fucking mental. If I give you the pass, the full fucking hall be kicking fuck at each other every day, you know what I mean? And he's like, I'll give you a deal. Keep your nose clean for 3 months and I'll give you a shot in the fucking pass. And I'm like, no bother on that, know what I mean? And I'm thinking about it. And fucking, so I've calmed down a bit. I went to the order room the next day and the screw went with me. And he's like, we've been talking to Daniel and that, we've been talking to him that he's been saying he wants to pass. I've said, if you keep your nose clean for 3 months, I'll give you a shot and see where we can go. And the governor's like, are you going to fucking change? Are you going to settle down? Because I'm fucking sick of you, know what I mean? Like, every fucking week you're in here. And I was like, aye, give me a chance. And I'm like, right, cool. I'm not putting you down the digger this for 3 days this time. Go back up the hall and get your fucking act together. I went back up the hall. I had the gym that day. I went to the gym and I fucking smashed a workout. And fucking, I went out, I was only like 8-9 stone. I mean, I was a twig, right? But I smashed that gym workout and I was like, aye, this is amazing. I actually feel quite good after the workout. So I'm back to the gaff and fucking, I went to the hot plate. I get squared up with a good munch. I munched the fucking all sorts. I'm back to the gaff and I'm like, I want to hit the gym, you know what I mean? I'm fed up with fighting, I'm fed up with getting restrained, getting smashed off these screws. I'm sick of fucking doing the digger for months. I want to do something with this sentence. I'm like, I'm going to be solid. I'm like, I'm going to throw about 100 kilo. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to bench 100 kilo one day. And I became obsessed with it. You know what I mean? I became obsessed with the gym. So I'm going to the gym every opportunity I can. I'm in my gaff. I get up in the morning. I'm doing 50 squats, 50 press-ups, 50 sit-ups. I'm eating my cereal. I'm chilling to lunch. Before lunch, again, 50, 50, 50. Then bang, get my lunch. Back, go to the gym, smash it. Come back, fucking get my dinner. Before dinner, I'm doing 50, 50 again. And then at night, when I'm dubbed up, whatever I'm watching, like when it goes to the adverts, go down, bang, smash 50 press-ups, back, watching our 15-minute programme again. 50, I'm doing all these fucking press-ups, know what I mean? And I'm smashing it.
Is it working for you? But you're staying away from violence now? Aye.
So like after 3 months, I'm starting to see gains in the gym. No much, right? But I'm starting to see something. I'm starting to see something and I'm getting addicted to that. Right? And the 3 months pass. Like, I think it was 3 or 4 months past, right? And the screw came up to me. He's like, Danny, you had a pass. And boy's just been sacked. There you go, had a chance. And I'm like, jackpot, I can eat as much as I can, man. I'm going to put the weight on. I'm going to get solid, know what I mean? And fucking, I'm on the pass and I'm opened up all day. Shit's different. I'm not really... See, when I get obsessed with something, I forget about all the pain. I forget about all the shit growing up. I forget about my dad. I forget about all this bullshit. And I just focus on what I'm obsessed with. And by this time, I'm obsessed with the fucking gym, know what I mean? So I'm opened up all day. I'm getting all this protein powder. I'm in the under 18 holes at this time, but my pals for the over 18 holes are getting me snout done. I'm trading the snout for like gym gloves, fucking protein shakers, everything that's just gym. And and fucking I'm getting addicted to the gym, right? And I'm going for 40 key to 50 key to 60 key. Then I turned 18, I go to the older hall, and fucking, by this time I've been sentenced, right? But my sentence, when I go to sentence, right, I'm up at the Aberdeen High because I got a travelling judge for Glasgow. They sent me Aberdeen High for sentencing. I went up, I'm like, I'm going to get 7 year. I turned up. They started the sentencing at 10 year, right? And my fucking arse collapsed, man. But the time they took all this shit off, took all these years off, fucking... for pleading and all that, to a third off, whatever. It went down to like 5 year. I had to do 4 year, a year SRO, right? So I basically got a 4 year sentence. So when I get 18, I went to the LTP hall and I'm chilling with all these lifers, right? And I'm becoming pals with them, having conversations with them, and like not once did I complain about my sentence because these lifers are like, they're here for, you know what I mean? Like that's just disrespect. So like, I didn't once complain about my sentence. I didn't once think about it. All I thought about was the fucking gym. That became my life. Like, and fucking, but you get to the older halls, like these boys have been smashing the gym for years. So like, you start working out with people who really are solid.
And no wee tricks and all that into it.
They know everything about the gym. So I'm smashing all these workouts with these big boys, know what I mean? I'm still a wee cunt, but I'm giving it my all, know what I mean?
Aye.
Not once did I miss a gym session. I'm smashing all these gym sessions, right? And I thought, you know what, these years pass by and it gets to the month before I'm out and I'm like, right, get 100 kilo on the rack. I flung it up and I started repping the shit. And I was like, I fucking knew I would do it. I fucking told you I would fucking do this one day. And I went back to my cell. I was buzzing, man. I was like, I set my mind to that. And for day one, I remember benching 40 key and thinking to myself, I'll never get 100 key. But I remember, like, that day happened, I'm flinging 100 key, but I'm like, I fucking did it, know what I mean? I achieved something. That was like the first time in my life I actually set my mind to something. And it took me years, know what I mean? But I still fucking done it, know what I mean?
Set a goal when you go there, didn't you? Aye.
And it's important that I talk through that story because, see, now with this rap game, I'm applying the same energy,
Mindset.
the same mindset, the
Do
same
you believe in the law of
fucking...
attraction? No.
Aye.
Aye. I'm a believer in that as well.
Aye, definitely. So, like, I set a goal in this rap shit and I will achieve it. I don't care if it takes me 10 years, 20 years, I will fucking achieve it. And one day you'll hear me screaming, I told you so. Know what I mean? It's just like being in the jail, like smashing the gym that much, it built it into me. It created something in me alive, know what I mean? So anyway, I started in prison in Polmont. I started got to these programs. I started got to victim empathy and that. I started learning about like other people's feelings and that and how the violent offending is affecting not just them, but their family, their children, and fucking... I was like, right, I'm never going to rob a cunt ever again in my life, know what I mean? Because I don't know what the fuck they're going to hate me, know what I mean? They're like, they're going to have to tell their kids, know what I mean? I don't want to scare children, know what I mean, through robbing their parents. Fuck that shit. I want to do something in my life. At the time, I thought I wanted to be a bodybuilder. That was what I thought at the time I wanted to be. Right, so I'm learning all this fucking victim empathy and that, and it's changing my mindset, and I'm starting to learn, I'm starting to read books and that, I'm starting to study.
What kind of books you reading, Danny?
It started with Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code and that, Angels and Demons and that. It started with that, and then I started reading...
Did you read like Power of Now and all that? Like
nah.
The Secret and the kind of books?
No, in Polmont, the books are shit. All you've got is true crime, basically, know what I mean?
Mad, isn't it?
Aye, but I'm reading all these true crime books and I'm going to write a fucking book one day, know what I mean? And fucking, but anyway, I got out after that sentence. My dad was in hostel, so I had no bit of stay, so I had to go to a hostel. Go back a bit, back in the jail, sorry. I went through my whole life. I've listened to New Monkey and dance music. At the end of my sentence, I started listening to hip hop, Tupac, Eminem, that Biggie, and fucking one of my boys, Donley, that I met in Polmont. Shout out Donley, man. Shout out all your brothers and all, man. Fucking one of my best pals to this day. I met him in Polmont, but he had a big stack of hip hop CDs. I'd go to his door every rec and I'd be like, right, he's one I've not listened to. And he'd be like, here you go, bro. And there'd be a bit for a bucket in the CD, you know what I mean? And he would always square me up with a bit for a couple of buckets, not here and there. And I'd go back to my gaff and I'd have a good night. I'd listen to the album on repeat, man. And fucking, I started writing my own lyrics. And fucking, anyway, a project started where this guy, Scott, came in with the decks and fucking mics, and we'd go up and fucking we'd be MCing and that. Frankie was there and all. He was in a different hall, but he put his name down. So I'd meet Frankie at this gig. I don't know.
Was that like a course?
A course. So I met Frankie and I at the course again, and it was me, Frankie, Donnelly, and the three of us would be MCing, I mean, all these records. And fucking, but at the end, like, I'd be like, put a hip hop record, don't let me try this. And Donnelly, I swear to God, I can say Donnelly was the first ever person to support me rapping, because he would be like, keep that up, bro, that's actually quite good, know what I mean? And he'd be like, obviously practice me on that, but it's quite good, know what I mean? I like what you're doing, it's different. And fucking, anyway, I got out of Polmont, fucking, one of the workers in the hostel, Graham, fucking, he's like, there's this hip-hop night in the town, Loki runs it, it's called Volition. He's like, it's just the boys, they go and they do a cypher, they practice rapping that. It's like, it could be good for you, know what I mean? I know you're into your rapping that. I was like, I need bother. A couple of weeks passed, I was like, I better go to this. He took me, and fucking, I'm sitting down, and one of the boys put a speaker on, he put instrumentals on, and they're all just spitting verses each.
Mhm.
And it came to YB and Sean Boy, they two were best pals, right? And these two were my age, and the two of them started spitting, man, and I was blown the fuck away, man. Like, I was like, at that moment, I was like, I want to do that. I want to be that fucking sick at rapping. I want to blow cunts' minds with rhymes like that. And fucking, I started talking to the two of them. I was like, no matter what, these two are going to be my pals. It turned out they end up being my best pals, know what I mean? And fucking, so I stopped thinking about the gang and started thinking about the rappers. And these people had dreams, know what I mean? And fucking, they were just focusing on music, focusing on talent, and fucking, they helped me, taught me how to write 16s, taught me how to structure music, taught me a lot. And fucking, I met Ansi as well, and we ended up creating a group called Sinister South. So now I'm starting performing live. I'm doing gigs with the boys, and it's the best feeling in the fucking world doing a live performance. Honestly, man, see,
I can't imagine. I can't.
See when everybody starts singing your lyrics back to you, and every cunt's all get their hands in the air. Like, honestly, even though it was only performing to 20 people, the 20 people were still going mad, but it was still the best feeling in the world, right? And fucking, we ended up going through that for a couple of years. We're just rapping, fucking. But YB, I'm sitting in YB's gaff one day, and I was listening to a lot of American rap, know what I mean? And he listened to a lot of English rap, and he's like, listen to this cunt, he put Mike Righteous on, right? And fucking, it moved me to tears, and like, he was speaking to my fucking soul with this rapping, and I was like, this is my dream in life. This is my purpose in fucking life. This is why I'm into music. This is why I started writing rap. It's to speak to the lost fucking souls, know what I mean? It's to speak to those and let them know they're not alone, know what I mean? And keep fucking fighting. That's why I'm fucking obsessed with rap, and I changed my whole fucking attitude with writing rap, and I went into telling my story. I've spent the last 10 years telling nothing but my story, telling everything, and fucking...
Some of your stories are pretty, like, dark, but they're, like... quite emotional, like, and you know that way. It's like there's you can the raw emotion in it. You know what I mean? I mean, the first time I seen any other stuff, Danny, was the Luke Mitchell one. Anybody that's not seen that Luke Mitchell rap should go on and see it. And any Danny stuff, obviously, should go and check him out because he's really good. He's really talented.
Appreciate it, bro.
But I think the whole story here is right. Is for me is you've been what you would class as a bad boy, right? Like, you've done bad things and you understand that now, right? And you've got a lot of empathy now. You've got you're using what you've done and the bad stuff you've done, and you're
trying to turn it into a positive.
Try to turn it into a positive, right? Which is the only thing you can do.
You've got two options: either eat it, let it eat you alive, and turn it to suicide, or turn it to fucking drugs.
Definitely.
Or you can use it to inspire others and use it to fucking help others who are going through the same. That's all about idea. I just want to let people know they're not alone, inspire them, and maybe one day inspire them to find their own talent and pursue it no matter what until they achieve it. That's the main fucking goal with this music shit, know what I mean? Nothing else.
Danny. You'll get it. And listen, obviously there's big movements like the Scouse rap. That wasn't anywhere.
Exactly.
It was never on the map. And then obviously Mazza and that have come on, and obviously like they've blew it right up. Do you know what I mean? So all it takes is one of these, do you know what I mean? And yous are quite I had Dazza on here, right? Shout out to Dazza. But Dazza was, it's a small group, and yous are doing, like, yous are doing collective, yous are working together. It's no as if yous are all there is diss tracks, right? I'm not, but yous know as if yous are all like fighting each other. You've got each other's back.
On the same
do
level.
You know what I mean? Which so again, you've found a creative outlet that's helping you, right? But also you're getting that connection again, and you're getting validated again. Do you know what I mean? Which
in a positive way.
You know? And which then opens up and allows you to maybe stop taking drugs and that, and then allows you to kind of start going, fuck, man, what I was doing was fucking shit. You know what I mean? It was right. But
Definitely.
Your whole value system changes. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And you've got like ethics and purpose and stuff. But you done that yourself, right? No many people can do that, Danny. And just even talking to you, you've got a level of awareness, and you've got a thing no many people have got, is where you can speak about things and you can take yourself away from it you can take yourself away from it and look at it for
Aye.
other
Bird's eye
people.
view.
Aye. I know a lot of people can do that, by the way. That's a talent or a skill that needs to be taught. I think that's what you should be teaching boys like yourself who maybe were 6, 7, 8-year-old, because you're going to get all this stuff and you need to be able to see it from other people's perspectives, do you know what I mean? And see where it's all coming from. But so just obviously talk about what is the Scottish rap scene like, you know, what's happening, what's it, because obviously like it was quite a big deal, Mobb Deep, you know what I mean? So is there anything else, kind of like, if you've got anything else in the pipeline, what's happening?
So my next gig's the 15th of May. Got contacted the other day about it. I was like, I count me in, I'll do it. They don't know who's headlining it, but it's got to be big. So like, I'm looking forward to finding out who's the next cunt that's headlining. And this time I've got a 20-minute set, so I'm going to have to spend a month fucking practicing and practicing. I ain't fucking this up, you know what I mean? Not a chance in hell, man. So that's next on the agenda. So, but with the Scottish rap scene, it's like, we went through a phase where it was kind of blown up. Shogun took it to the next level, went viral, and Sherlock McCroy was blown up, hitting over 100,000 views and that. It was popping, you know what I mean? And like, something happened that like, and it died down again and went back down to like normal, like, and the buzz kind of fucked off. And like,
what is the record companies and that like? Are they even in about watching?
No, they're non-existent in Scotland. Non-existent. Your best bet, I've always said it, your best bet's gone independent, man. And fucking, so with the Scottish rap scene, but as drill's kind of taking you. You've got these wee idiots in balaclavas.
I know, it's no nice,
acting English, and I keep saying to them, look, you have talent, you can flow on a beat, you can do that shit lyrically, but what your content is what you're doing is confusing the youth. What you're doing is somewhat fucking brainwashing the youth, know what I mean? You're no inspiring the youth. You're fucking, you're inspiring them, but you're inspiring them to go to prison, know what I mean? Quick stick. Fucking, what I've always said with this music is, you're going to have children one day, and your children are going to listen to your music, especially when you die. They're going to listen back through your music. What do you want to do with that? Do you want to inspire them? Do you want to leave a message? Do you want to encourage them to chase their dreams? Or do you want to embarrass them? No, I mean,
and
like,
I think,
definitely.
See, obviously, I listen sometimes to like Charlemagne's podcast, right? Like Breakfast Club. And he obviously it's more American rappers, right?
Aye.
But you'll see that, and it's maybe guys, obviously we're talking on a different level, right? These guys have like been successful, Fat Joe, people like that, right?
Aye.
So, but they all talk about the same thing, and they talk about how the record labels are getting, like 50 Cent's obviously triple wide, right? And he was saying like what they do is they get like, they knew with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. He's like, they'll get, Drake was blown up. He was not only, his music was like the best in the world at one time, blah, blah, blah. But you get a sniffy, he's going to go and do his own thing. And then all of a sudden, Kendrick Lamar blows up and he's dissing Drake and doing this. No, I'm not saying that because I've got my beliefs. I think Puff Daddy's a bad guy. I do believe that
he's a mad beast, man,
I do believe he done that shit, right? So, but when you talk and you listen to Charlemagne, they all talk about like all this stuff where they're all sitting in the same room and they were like, we were all like beefing. Like, he's like, I would have killed you if I seen you in the street. Like, and then obviously talking to Suge Knight, hear like Suge Knight talking, and there's a lot of stuff like, well, it's weird because like Suge Knight's calling Snoop Dogg a rat and saying Snoop. No, I like Snoop Dogg, right? I think Snoop Dogg's brilliant, right? But Suge's saying, listen, he's a rat. He's caused a lot of stuff and this and that. And we don't know, right? We don't know any of this stuff because obviously it's entertainment and then you're only hearing what you're going to hear, right? So, but my point is all these boys were the same, right? So you're taking the American rap scene, right? And what you're talking about with the drill, the American rap scene, every single one of them get to an age where they're maybe 40, 50-year-old and they're like, what the fuck? Like why are we fighting? Like Ja Rule, when it talks about with 50 Cent, 50 Cent's lad, like, I don't even really know. Like, I don't know why. Like, but he was with Supreme at the time, and this and that, and there was it was kind of made to do that.
Aye.
And, do you know what I mean? So it's like,
And it was making money as well.
well, he says, 50 Cent says he was talking about Tony Yayo. I'm sure it was Tony Yayo, because I think, who was his mob again? His
G-Unit.
G-Unit. So I think G-Unit were really loyal to him.
Mm-hmm.
But 50 Cent says, see these boys for the street, the fast money, fast thing. He says, I was trying to show them, you need to invest, you need to do this. And he says, and they didn't listen to me. Like, they
Aye,
didn't
50 Cent's really intelligent, he is, man.
very into
Aye.
and you listen to it, but he's taking that path as well, similar to yourself, Danny, where he's kind of going, stop fucking like creating music that's, you don't need to create music about rap, fighting each other.
There's a difference between rapping about what you've been through, right? There's a difference between telling a story for the street and telling the violence. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is glorifying it and fucking boasting about it and fucking promoting it like it's fucking, know what I mean? Like, that's why I hate drill so much. It's so fucking, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these cunts are rapping to 12 and 13-year-olds. Not a chance in fucking hell as a mature grown man listening to drill music.
Aye.
No chance.
I know.
No, I mean, either is 30-year-olds not to listen to drill, but it's because they're still tripping. I mean, they're still getting the wee guy he done, they're like tripping. No, I mean,
they're the 30-year-olds that haven't never
aye, no, I mean, they're tripping. Basically, man, like, fucking see when you have children and that.
Danny, I think it's dangerous for the youth, because I can see,
definitely.
I can definitely see more young team stuff. We were talking about it yesterday. Like, a politician on yesterday, Ash Regan, like, she's a lovely lassie, and she was kind of saying, like, she thinks the violence is going down and stuff like that. And I was like, I feel as if they play about with stats, you know what I mean? And make the stats work to fit the narrative.
Aye.
Because on the street, it's like you've got this drill music, you've got this stuff, and people are getting hurt at it. You know what I mean? People are getting hurt, and it's people like you. It takes a big person, Danny, to come out and go, because the young team. What would you have said to somebody at your age, like, who was coming in at you at 13 and going, look, stop fucking rapping, because maybe it's like allowing them to express themselves in a way. Do you know what I mean? But it's totally the wrong way. Is it? And when you're saying drum music, so you talk about like some 20-year-olds and that are like doing this, and it's 13-year-olds that are listening to it.
Ah, definitely. Like, so, like I don't know. It's like, you see the drill music.
So what's the difference? Like, because I'm not like. So what's the difference? Like,
so drill music is basically, drill means drilling, and that is basically just fucking, I don't know the actual definition, right? But it's basically gang shit, you know what I mean? It's hurting the ops or whatever the fuck they're talking about. And it's, drilling basically is a word that means fucking, like, violence, you know what I mean? And fucking drug dealing, whatever, and fucking just being on.
So it's just like basically a kind of word that kind of like defines crime. Like,
the gang shit.
Right.
So, like, I've always said, like, I've had a couple of wee guys who are doing drill music, and I've tried to, like, say to them, I'm like, bro, it takes bigger balls to rap real and be honest about all the dark shit in your life, all the pain. It takes more balls to do that than it does to boast about stabbing another cunt. Know what I mean? Like, it takes more balls to be vulnerable than it does to be violent and game. Know what I mean? Definitely. So,
and you know yourself, Danny, right? And we'll not go into names and naming names and whatever, right? But we both know people who are like actively out there, like in a world of chaos, right? And but if you ever do speak to them in the prison and you are friendly enough with them, they're not happy. Like, they're not happy. They don't want to be.
How can any man be happy with enemies?
I know.
How can any man be happy with threats on their life?
I know.
You might be happy, like,
under the influence, when you think, like,
see, when you have children,
and
you're like, right, fuck's sake, my children make it harm because of what I've done. Like, how can you be settled in life, or how can you be happy in life or content when you know there's people out there who are willing to stab fuck right out? You know what I mean?
I do you serious harm,
Aye.
and it's no like it's a million miles away from what you're saying, and what we were talking about earlier is like you were saying obviously some of the guys that you maybe thought when you did change your life about like we'll go back to that in a minute, right? But like how you did change your life about and stuff, but when you did change your life about, you were a bit scared about like some of the people, some of the old enemies, and what you're going to do if it bumps into them and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And you said most of the boys have actually been brand new because they know now you're out trying to change lives and turn boys all out.
And they're kind of doing the same thing as well.
Aye.
But what I said was, you might grow up and change your life a bit, but that doesn't mean your enemies are gone, you know what I mean? So, like, fucking, see, when you're grown up, the best advice I'll give you is watch where you're sticking that knife you're fucking carrying about, you know what I mean? Because it'll come back to bite you, and you either end up doing a life sentence, or you end up dead, or you end up severely paranoid for the rest of your day, or you end up chased at your own scheme, or you end up... It's you know what I mean?
It's just built. It's going to traumatise you, like, and you don't understand. These things catch up with people. It doesn't matter who you are, and there's very few people left. That I always say it. See if you look at the kind of. So obviously, if you look at the life of a criminal, right, and you look at it for the way what they think is a success, right.
Mm-hmm.
Start off probably in the gangs, grow up, come out of gang culture, wee bit of violence, they Polmont and that, like. They maybe start punting a bit of gear, move up, start shifting a bit of weight for getting in the right crowd. Before you know it, you're doing a bit, you've got boys working for you, blah, blah, blah. But the main picture is you're trying to get to the top of that chain, where to get to that top of that chain is near impossible. You're just, you're lucky to get there because the people that are there, the shit that have happened to them, nearly every time they've had numerous attempts on their lives, they'll have had this and that.
No, even that. It's the same. The more money you make, the more the screws are watching you.
Aye.
Like, they'll wait until you're sitting with £100,000, then they'll hit you with a fucking 10-year sentence.
Aye.
No, I mean, then you need to start again with nothing, and you've wasted 10 years of your life, and you're fucking... No, I mean, like, I've not got a problem with drug dealers. I've not got a problem with violent people, right? I know the script, you know what I mean? I'm fairy scheme, I know the fucking script. My problem is people who glorify that shit and promote it to fucking children like it's a fucking way of life. You know what I mean? That's my problem. I've not got a problem with the people who are actually about it and actually fucking doing it, you know what I mean? Like, that's their life, and if that's how they get by, that's how they deal with stuff. Who the fuck am I to judge? You know what I mean? But if I'm in the rap game and you're fucking next to me rapping about all this bullshit, promoting it to children who are fucking grown up in the same city as me, and I don't see it and about that, would that make me, you know what I mean?
Well, you know how susceptible you were to things, right? So see if maybe you were 12, 13, this drill music would have maybe made you worse.
Aye, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? So it's no like, you're talking for the heart here, do you know what I mean? And what you're doing is you're putting out a message, and I think it's, listen, I've got tons of respect for you, Danny, to be honest. Like, it's a hard thing to do, and I do it as well. Like, if I go into a podcast and people will say, like, when I done my time in prison, like, I wasn't like jumping about mad or anything. Like, I wasn't my thing. I just go, but I've got a lot of pals and I've done all right. Like, I just get through my sentence, right? I've done a long time, but when I look back, I do go, how the fuck did I even do that long? Like, you do look back, right? And you go, how did I do that? But I'm not going to, like, I know how hard that was for me. It nearly killed me on numerous occasions. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were like, don't want to be here. I'd rather not be here than hingy. So there's no point in me going on to a podcast or a hingy and lying about it and saying, oh, that was great in the jail, and there's moments, right? There's moments in the jail.
There is a laugh in the jail the odd time,
you meet good boys and stuff like that, but 90% of it's a fucking shit show, man.
And it's depressing.
And even worse, I don't know. When was the last time you were in? When was the last
4 years ago.
4 years ago, so you've been at 4 years, well done, man. But even like at that, so I'll go back to that. So how did your last sentence, like, how did that just, how did you go? What was it you just said?
I was chasing my dreams, right? And see, when I got Polmont, I changed my life around, and I spiritually woke up, and fucking I started educating myself, and I ended up addicted to knowledge, right? Every time I learned something new, like I'd get that light bulb moment, I'd be like, brilliant, know what I mean? Like I never knew that, like it's a good feeling, and I ended up addicted to it, but it got to the point where I went into conspiracy theories, and I went down a fucking rabbit hole, right? And I'm like doing this fucking rabbit hole, man, learning all this evil shit throughout history, all this evil shit that's happening currently, all this madness that's going on round about me, and fucking, like, I'm learning a lot about psychology as well, and how people behave, and how behaviours fucking whatever, and fucking social psychology, all this shit I'm learning, right? And I'm observing it all, and fucking, I'm like, right, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to do something in a community where I'm helping the youth. I'm going to do something, like, but fucking, I was smoking that much green that I wasn't thinking, and I spent, I think it was like 4 years, every day smoking at least a score bit a day of green, and then I was going a half quarter of green a day, and fucking, I was smoking all this bud, right? And I ended up going through psychosis, didn't I?
Aye.
And
no, this is the problem, right? And I always say it, like, see the drugs on the street now, right? They're too strong, right? They're like,
sprayed with all sorts,
and they're sprayed with spice, and they're sprayed with shit, right? And it's no like, see, even if you talk to screws, I've spoke to Donna many screws, and they'll say to you, look, man, we wish we could have like heroin back in the jails and stuff, which I know sounds mental, but you were able to deal with that. See the stuff that they go like that tizzy and all this kind of stuff. It's madness. It's stuff that's frying people's head, and some people are not coming back for it. There's people who are going into psychosis and then they're not the same person.
Aye,
I've seen that.
I was lucky.
Like,
I was lucky.
So
man.
what was it like? Obviously, you keep going through
So
it.
I went through psychosis, right? My missus.
Did you just go cold turkey on it? Like with the green? Did you just cold turkey it and just stop smoking it?
No. What I was doing, I was hoarding a lot of green for cunts.
Aye.
And fucking, so I had green there all day, every day, and I was smoking that much shit. And fucking, I ended up started hearing voices and that, started getting paranoid. And like, I thought everybody was against me and that. My missus left me, my pals stopped coming to see me and that, and fucking, but anyway, the psychosis kicked in tenfold. And I'm fucking like these Freemasons are coming to my house. I know too much. Like, these cunts are going to come to my house and assassinate me. You know what I mean? That was what was going through my head. It sounds funny to know, but see, at the time when you're going through psychosis, it's real. It's real in your mind, and it's real. Like every motor that.
So you've been doing the rabbit hole that far, smoking that much, and you've ended up thinking, right? I know
definitely.
Too much.
Right. So fucking. Like, I thought I was.
That's the danger about going down the rabbit hole.
I thought I was Daniel for the Bible, right? See, Daniel's for Revelations. He tells everything that's going to happen, and that's the only chapter in the Bible that's no happened yet. That's still to happen in maybe no other time, but like, and it's still to happen. And I thought I was Daniel, and I was this messenger, and I was here to fucking tell the world about all this shit, and fucking my head was fried, man, and fucking. So I'm walking down the street and there's cunts behind me, and I'm turning around like, you're fucking following me, ain't you? And fucking like, I don't even know you. And like, I was tripping, man. I went into the barbers, right? And I sat down, and fucking a Turkish barbers. I sat down, got my hair cut, and I was like, right, thanks, brothers. And try to leave, and they're like, 15 quid. And I'm like, I'm Daniel, what you talking about? And they're like, 15 quid. I'm like, I'm Daniel, I don't need to pay for a haircut. Do you know who I'm on that? And they strangled me, and fucking I'm rolling about the flare with these cunts, and oh man, it was madness. And fucking, so I'm.
How long did that last, Danny?
I've been on for weeks, bro. Weeks, like months, 2 months, I think, right? But every day, like every cunt that left me, I'm sitting in this house myself with all these thoughts. I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating, because I'm thinking my food's poison, that. I'm fucking got to the shop and I'm buying a pot noodle, I'm running home, cooking it, eating it. And I'm like, right, I've not been poisoned, that. All this shit's paranoia's for real, man. See, to somebody that's not been through psychosis, they'll not get it, right? But see, if you've been through psychosis, to everybody out there who's been through psychosis, you know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. The food's poisoned, the neighbours out to get you, the voices I'm hearing through the walls, there's cameras in my walls, there's fucking cameras in my fire alarms, there's fucking, I'm getting recorded constantly, there's people out to get me. It's the scariest experience I've ever went through in my fucking life,
I mean,
man.
I'm laughing, right? But it's
funny explaining it, but
I know.
I'm glad now that I can laugh about it.
I've seen people going through it, and it's
honestly
insane.
like, and I was suicidal and I was fucking violent at the same time, and also I was carrying this blade, Anyway, it got to the point, I woke up one morning and I'm like, right, I'm going to the doctors. I need something. I'm hearing voices, not know what I mean. I think I'm talking to Jesus now. I'm fucking tripping balls. So I go to the doctors, right? I'm like, I need to see somebody new. And they're like, you need to book an appointment. And I'm like, you don't understand. I'm hearing voices. Like, I'm Daniel. You need to get me a doctor's appointment today, just now. And they're like, you've missed all appointments. I can't get you an appointment. I said, I'm not moving till I see a doctor. I need some sort of medication. So I've sat down. I've waited like half an hour. I'm like, right, fuck these cunts. Went back right to the gaff. Polish chapped the door. I've opened it. Like, what's up? And they're like, were you getting abuse to the people in the doctors there? And I'm like, no. I need a doctor's appointment. And the screws put his foot in my door. So he's not letting me shut my door.
Aye.
And I'm like, right, started tripping. Fucking.
Does
like,
this mean you was going, this is even coming for me now and all that?
Nah, I was just like, I've always hated police anyway, and always hated authority, know what I mean? And like, the more you go down the rabbit hole, the more you hate authority even fucking more, know what I mean? And fucking, I'm trying to slam my door, I'm like, get the fuck, know what I mean? And they're like, no, we need to talk to you, can we come in? I'm like, no, you're not coming in my house. And fucking, this argument goes back and forth for about 5 minutes. I'm like, fuck this. I've ran into the kitchen, grabbed a big kitchen knife, I ran at them with it, man. And fucking, they've started pepper spraying me, man. Fucking, I'm like, man, fucking dropped the knife and they've pressed the panic alarm. I shit you not, in the space of 20 seconds, there's like 100 Polish running up my close and fucking they've all jumped on top of me, 10 of them restrained me, dragged me out the street. I'm looking about, man, I'm fucking getting tuckied, know what I mean? I'm looking about and I shit you not, there's like 10, 15 Polish motors on the full street and fucking I get to jail and fucking, I don't know how, but I got bail. I go fucking bail, right? And I'm like,
that's a universe, but and
I go bail, and I'm like, I'm still going through psychosis. I'm doing the court cells, right? I'm like, right, I'm got a bar now, and fucking, I'm hearing all these voices. You know what it's like doing the court cells when everybody's shouting, the screws are shouting, fucking.
It's not a nice place.
It's fucking, it's no good when you're hearing voices, right? And I'm thinking all these cunts are out to get me. I'm thinking all these cunts are got a sniper on me. Not. I've just stood up and I've started socking this cunt that was in the cell with me. And fucking, he's all bust open, that man. And fucking, every cunt jump up and they're shouting the turnkeys. And the turnkeys are coming. They're like, get this wee cunt out of here. He's fucking mental, man. And fucking, they've dragged me out and fucking, I'm sitting in a cell myself. And fucking, I got bail when I got out. I went back to my house again, and the psychosis is still fucking, it's madness. But anyway, I ended up fucking, I went to my auntie's, fucking, they're not letting me in the house. I was tripping in a couple of days ago, and I turned the chip pan on, I turned the fucking, the kettle on, the fire, I turned everything on, I was trying to blow the house out, I don't know, I was tripping. And fucking, so they barred me for the house. And my cousin's there, and I'm shouting through the window. I've got a lockback in my pocket, and I'm shouting, come out and fight me and all that. And fucking, he's like, I'm not coming out. And I was like, you are a fucking beast, get out here, man, you're getting done. And he's just avoiding me. They phoned the police pulled up, jailed me, searched me, had the lockback on me, didn't I? Then I got remanded. So I'm sitting in bar, right, going through psychosis.
In Berlin?
Aye, and honestly, I thought psychosis was bad outside. See, when you're in Berlin, man, fucking, they've put me in a suicide cell and all that, and fucking, I'm looking at doctors. I'm
when
like,
was that the first time a doctor got to look at you then?
Aye. So, like, I'm being processed, and when you first go in, obviously, and they're like, do you have any thoughts of harming yourself and that, whatever, and I'm like, I'm hearing voices and that, like, people are out to get me and that, and they're just looking at me like that. Right, we'll put you in a suicide cell, you don't sound like you're all there.
Aye.
So they put me in a suicide cell, and I think it's Seahall's the first night centre, innit?
D-Hall it is in
D-Hall, so D-Hall, and then you move to C-Hall for remand. So I'm in D-Hall for a night, and anyway, I'm on suicide watch now. They send me to D-Hall the next day. I'm on the bottom flat. I get dubbed up with a cunt. He's making a cup of tea, and his name milk left. And I'm like, bro, you can't make me a cup of tea with no fucking milk. What are you talking about? He's like, what? He's pressed the buzzer. He's like, get him to fuck out here, know what I mean? And fucking, they put me in a cell myself, and there was a Bible in the cell, and I'm fucking reading this Bible, man, and fucking the psychosis gone through him, and fucking past man came to my door. I'm like, these cunts are going to sniper me, you know what, man? These cunts are all fucking shouting. They're all shouting Danny Kelly's in. They're all got to get me. So the past man comes to my door, right? he opens the door and he's like, it's after dinner. He's like, right, give me your plate. I'm like, you take the fucking plate. He's like, what are you talking about? Give me your plate out. That's what you do. And I'm like, no, come in and get the plate and leave. And he's like, who the fuck are you talking to? I'm like, boom, a cup of tea, man. Bounced up, scolded him, man. Fucking 5 screws of jacked myself, punched utter fuck at me, broke my ribs, fucking fractured my jaw, like fucking had to go to hospital not after it. Like they leered me, man.
Did they not notice you were going through psychosis?
No, they just thought I was fucking thinking I was a gangster or something, know what I mean?
Aye.
And they leered me, man, dragged me down the digger. The fucking nurse came in to see me. He's like, he needs to go to hospital. They've took me to hospital, took me back. So I'm fucking down the digger. And fucking, anyway, a couple of days go by. I'd done a week lie down and I was supposed to get my fully committal. The week passed and I was like, I'm supposed to be at court today. And the screws are like, no, you're not, it's tomorrow or not. And I'm like, these kids are bamming me up. So I boil my kettle, right? And I'm on the buzzer. And I'm like, come in. And fucking they've waited till the kettle's fucking stopped, whatever, hot, whatever. And then they've opened the door and fucking smashed me again. Then they gave me a month for in the digger. And like, fucking... Anyway, I've got this Bible, no telly or nothing, no kettle. So I'm just sitting with a Bible down the digger, man, tripping. And fucking, it's 4 in the morning and I start chanting these Bible verses as loud as I can out my door. And all these kids are shouting, get the fucking heat done that, you're getting done that. When I see you, man, you better fuck up. And I don't give a fuck, I'm shouting these Bible verses, no, man. I came into this prison to wake you up, no, that fucking Chaplain Daniels here. I swear to God, mate. Oh, it's the most surreal experience of my life, man.
Do you know what's scary? But honestly, right, I last time I was in prison was 2020, Danny, right? And like, you can laugh about this, right? But this is the reality of prison now. This is what boys are going through.
Aye, like it's nuts.
Like loads of boys. There's like we were doing a podcast the other week, and the amount of ambulance phone calls that are getting phoned out now for boys in the jail is insane, mate. You know what I mean? It was like when I was there when I first went in, psychosis wasn't a thing. Do you know what I mean? But it's a scary, man. That they're allowing. Like, yeah, I don't know. On you go, Danny.
Right, so. Gets to the point where a couple of weeks pass, I'm talking about a kid next door, I'm pally with him that, and he's like, you need to see a psychiatrist, you need to see somebody, go on your buzzer the new and fucking tell them you want to see a psychiatrist ASAP. So I'm like, right, sound, press the buzzer. I'm like, I want to see a psychiatrist, and he's like, you need to put the form out, whatever. So I put the form out the next morning, psychiatrist comes the next day, and I start explaining to him, everything that's been going on the last couple of months and how I've got to jail now and everything that's going on, and he's just like, is any of your parents schizophrenics? And I was like, aye, both of them. And he's like, right, I'm going to have to go through these notes and that, whatever. And he came back the next day, he's like, you're a paranoid schizophrenic, you need medication for psychosis. And I was like, right, my mum and dad took olanzapine, that helped them. And he's like, right, I'll give you olanzapine. So I've taken olanzapine and started me on the lowest. Nothing happened for a couple of days. I was like, you need to put me the highest. Put me the fucking highest. He gave me the highest. Took them 3, 4, 5 days later. I've woke up and the kid next door to me, he's like, Danny, I got to sleep last night. You take your back to normal or something. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, I can't hear these voices. I don't think the telly's talking to me. I don't think all this mad shit. And I'm like, bro, I'm back to normal, you know what I mean? And it was honestly, see the weight off my shoulders, man. The paranoia just disappeared.
It's such a shame, but like you went through that, man.
Oh,
like,
man, it was scary as fuck. And like, I was like, thank fuck I'm doing the digger and I'm actually getting the help instead of being up the hole. Because when you're up the hole and you try and get help for shit like that, nothing happens. You're waiting weeks now. Doing the digger, they take you a bit more serious. And fucking, my pal next door to me, he's like, you're lucky you never get sectioned, bro. You get sectioned, you're in there for years. You never know when you're getting back. You're lucky you're still in here doing your sentence and whatever, man.
Was that how you found out you were a paranoid schizophrenic? Through that? Aye. And obviously that, because a lot of people, we always say green, right? And that, listen, we've all got our ideas about what green should be, but it's really no good for people that have that underlying kind of schizophrenia and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, no, but it's mad to show like, that you've waited then, so 26 or 23. So you've went 23 years and you've no known that you've actually got that paranoid.
I've always abused drugs, not always fucking.
Which has probably kept you like on your that for hearing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and then obviously when you've went, I'm changing, you've started smoking green. That's just obviously
all combined. You know fucking everything just all go up and something in my head.
Because you've got a song about like schizophrenia,
Aye.
haven't you? Like how you, what's it called?
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Schizophrenic. I've listened to that. It's dead fucking. I don't get a lot of it, right? Because it's
Aye.
probably like, but somebody I think that like get it. But I remember listening and going, that's like raw, like that's like raw as fuck. It's like it's a really good song. Again, I would say anybody go and listen to it. I think your music is a full expression of, because you're basically an advocate now for mental health. Do you know what I mean? That is what you do, Danny. If you take it down to it, you're an advocate for mental health. That's
Definitely.
probably what comes first in your life
Aye.
is advocating and noticing that young people with mental health problems are going to end up in places where you don't let you obviously know aren't good places.
Aye.
You're doing a lot of good work. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, like, have you got any kind of inspirational stories where you can tell us where maybe you have like had a wee guy that's maybe fucking says, Danny, you've fucking helped me change my life
like,
about like.
I've been writing real for 10 years now, and I shit you know, I've had over 100 messages for people all over Scotland messaging me saying your music has stopped me from killing myself, like literally. And like, I don't know what to say. Like, all I can do is make music. Like, I'm not a therapist. I can't go into big paragraphs and keep helping you know. I just keep listening to music. I'm glad it helped. That's all I ever wanted with this music, was to prevent suicide. Because like in my darkest times, all I've had is fucking music, my headphones on, and fucking dealt with shit that I shouldn't have had to dealt with. But music helped me, right? And so to give that gift back is fucking God's work. It definitely is. So like,
So what do you believe in now? It's just because obviously I'm spiritual, right? But obviously once you go down that rabbit hole, there's loads of different shit.
aye.
Where do you sit now with believe your belief? Are you a Christian or are you? Because I just believe in the universe, right? And I believe like people like Jesus and that were real people,
Aye,
but I
I do,
believe
but-
they were like just prophets, like that were here to kind of tell us. And I think their work was kind of abused. Do you know what I mean? Like
definitely.
that's my stance. But where do you kind of live with?
I believe in the creator.
Aye.
I believe there is a creator. The world is too intelligently designed to not have a creator. You know what I mean? When you look at humans, what do humans do with their whole life? All they do is create.
Aye.
And you can't have life from non-life. That isn't scientifically fucking possible. You can't create life from non-life. We were created, definitely.
Because I used to be quite a big believer in like atheism. Like I was atheist for a long time. Like I didn't believe in any. I thought it was a lot of shit. And
I was the same.
I read like Richard Dawkins. I don't know if you read Richard Dawkins, like the God delusion and all that. And listen, I wouldn't like to argue with Richard Dawkins because he can fucking debate. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
But I think you need to feel something to believe
Aye,
it. You need to feel something. So I tell this story a few times. Like I was up in Castle Huntly and I was reading like looked up law of attraction books and I was reading like self-help books. It's the best I've ever been, right? See, for 6 weeks I was like floating on life, man. Like I was honestly like I can't explain it, right? But everything that was just working, like everything was just working, and it was like I didn't need to do it. And see, when I was in conversations, it was like I was like able to kind of detach for the bullshit. Do you know what I mean? It was like people were talking shit, and I was detaching myself, but still being able to walk about with them. And then we were sitting and I remember like it was telling you how to manifest and stuff like that. And I was right, so do you know what I'll do? I want jets to go by, right? I just want jets, right? That was what I said. And so I tell my pal, but you shouldn't really tell him, right, what you manifest, but I tell my pal, right, my wee pal Dumps, right? Big shout out to Dumps, fucking Dean. My pal Dumps got 2 years out of an LRO, man. He's fucking 18 years into it, know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
Shocking, mate. Big shout out to Dumps. But anyway, I says to him, right, I says, listen, I bet you jets go by, right? And the next guy went, but it's obviously he doesn't believe it, right? So it was like maybe like a day and a half later, man, like right, jets went by, right, dead low, like pure. Everybody was like, "Wow, fucking hell!" I was pure, that was, and he's like, "Oh, fuck up," right? Obviously, he's like, "Shut up." Then I went back and I was pure, right, pure man, like right into thinking about like I want to see a bird of prey taking something at the sky, like just walking. Now this is in the exercise yard in Castle Huntly, right? I don't think I've been in Castle Huntly, right? But
No.
you walk around the exercise yard, birds of prey don't do these things. They stay away from you, right? So we were walking round, and like as we're walking round, like it fucking for here to like for me maybe a wee bit further, but this beautiful. I don't even know what it was. Beautiful bird just boom took something out the sky, rolled onto the field. I was sure no way, but Dumps was walking with us, right, and he's like, "Don't." And I was like, "When have you ever seen that? When have you ever seen that? Ever? I've never seen that in my life." I says, "Don't." I says, "It's," and then it's dead easy just to lose. You just fall off the wayside with it. Do you know what I mean? And you do, and obviously I really don't do enough work on it. I hate myself for it, but it's you need that to experience it, don't you?
It's definitely something for the other side.
Aye.
It's no something you can explain really to people who no grasp the basics of manifestation or whatever. But like, see, like I remember in the hostel listening to Mike Righteous, right? And I was like, one day I'm going to do a song with him. And I'd be laughing my head off, and I'd be like, no, I'm being serious. So I talk to myself like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, there's two of me in here.
Aye.
But I talked to myself, and I was like, one day, I promise you, I'm going to fucking make a song with Mike Righteous. So anyway, it was like 5 years past, and I got the opportunity to make a song with him. And I made a song with Mike Righteous, right? And he got me on WhatsApp. He's like, right, I'm performing in Glasgow. I want you to perform with me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, the gig's next week, know what I mean? So I've performed for him and all. And like, I remember manifesting this shit. It took 5 years to happen, but it still happened. And see,
Aye.
when it happens, you think to yourself, this shit's higher than me.
Aye.
This shit is beyond, like, it's a purpose, and
I think this
it's
is
madness.
we were talking about, like, you've got, like, we were both the Andrew Tate fans, right? But like,
Aye.
I mean, I think I fucking talk about that prick every time around, right? But the way he says things, right? He's kind of right? But he says it in such a bad way,
Like an
it's
antagonising way.
antagonising way, and he's no fair the streets. He doesn't understand it. He's no went through care homes, and he doesn't understand any of it, right? So he's coming for a point, but what all the big people saying, all these people that make things, they're all manifestors. They're like, see, if you look at it, every single one of them will tell you, like, this is how you do it. It's like you need
write
to
your fucking goals down and
and
fucking.
it's what you said. If you think positively, you can't think negatively. Do you know what I mean? Which is, listen, easier said than done. But if that was as easy how you,
it would all be
but it is true.
Like, aye,
Like, do you know what I mean?
an element, aye.
If you think positively, you can't think negatively. Do you know what I mean? And it's getting dragged into negative thought processes, and I'm the victim, and that kind of stuff, like that. Keep you in a cycle of
Keep
like,
thinking like that.
aye, but you can't get out of it, and you won't get out of it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the sad thing. You know, I know people in my life who, like, listen, we're probably the same as you. Like, if you're growing in a different way, like, and you still love people like the same way, and you love when you do get to see, but if you bump into them in the street or whatever, and you say hello, but they're on a different level for you now. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I it's like you start seeing things differently, don't you? And it's I just think it's when you need to grassroots, man, get into the schools and start teaching people, like, at such a young age, about how to regulate your feelings and how to regulate your emotions. And because it sounded as if, like, to me, that you ran on anger. Do you know what I mean? And that was your emotion that you ran with. Do you know what I mean? And that's where you got all the kind of everything all came with violence. Whereas if you'd ran with maybe
love, compassion,
aye, it would have been totally. But even if you ran with sadness, or like if you'd ran with it, like the feeling of like hurt or whatever, that feeling of, you maybe would have ended up depressed, addiction, that like maybe weak. Do you know what I mean? Like in that way, that like kind of. I don't like using the word weak because it's no. Do you know what I mean? But you end up going down that road where you're a kind of pushover people, but you just take hundreds of drugs just to kind of get through the day and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So there's all different ways that these things play out. Do you know what I mean? And I think honestly, I think you're a massive inspiration to the young team, man, and anybody that's kind of interested in music. I think really needs to. I think like they should be listening to your stuff and just taking kind of that inspiration for your experience. Do you know what I mean? Because you have literally been through the fucking whole lot. Like, you've been through it all, and you're still here coming out the other side, and the ability to turn around now and start working with empathy and stuff is amazing, Danny. Honestly, I can't actually say enough how impressive it is. Do you know what I mean?
Big love, bro. Big love.
Do you know what I mean? Definitely. So just as we're like kind of coming up to the end of the podcast, right? It's been brilliant talking to you and very inspiring to see. But what would you kind of what have you got on the now that you're kind of doing and what is your plans for the future?
Right, so the plans for the future is, like, I'm the realest rapper, right? You ask anybody in Scotland, will tell you DK's realest, but they won't tell you I'm the best. What I want to do is get my skills fucking perfected. I want to be remembered as one of the best as well, know what I mean? I want to be remembered as a true hip hop artist. Get me? Not just like a real rapper. I want to be known as like a
DMX,
skilled rapper.
like a DMX kind
Kinda,
of.
I want to be like, I want to make songs that people can bob their head to as well. And like, I've spent 10 years telling all the depressing shit. I want to spend the next 10 years telling all the positive shit. I want my story to be a success, so you can say, right, he went through all that and look at him now. I want the story to be a fucking success, know what I mean? And the plan is to write a book, I don't know, get into short films. I want to get into acting and that. I want to just keep inspiring. I want to keep motivating, and I just want to win in life. You get me? I just want to win in life, and most of all, be a good dad. I just want to be a good dad. Know what I mean? Like, I just want to be there for my kids, inspire them as well, and teach them as much as I can, and fucking just be there for them as well. Know what I mean?
No, brilliant. And just what I always do with all my kind of guests, Danny, is just kind of give them the last message, and it's always usually because I don't like podcasts that glorify crime and stuff like that, and I don't like podcasts that do all that kind of stuff similar to you. So, if you got a message for like any of the young ones, maybe that do watch this, or anybody that's going to watch this, and just that obviously maybe that are in a bad place at this moment or struggling.
So my message is, first, you are not alone. There is hundreds in this fucking city, even thousands of people in this city who are contemplating suicide. I've been through it the majority of my life. I made it through the other side. I thought I fucking wouldn't so many times, and I did. You know what I mean? Take it from me, like, you can keep pushing, just make it through another day, take a day at a time, and you can get through. And trust me, like, see, my main problem with having suicidal thoughts growing up was, my main thought was, everybody's a fucking scumbag, everybody's a rat, there's nobody out there who really cares, nobody gives a fuck. I'm telling you right now, I give a fuck, and I really care. I might not know you, but I care about you, and I'm trying my fucking hardest with this music to speak to you. Like, and there is hundreds of people in the city who are empathy fucking mindset drilled as well, and there is hundreds of people in this country who are trying the hardest to help fucking people like yourself who are struggling. Like, keep the fucking head up and keep fucking fighting no matter what.
Powerful message, bro. Powerful message. So, just any like last three things that you want to kind of plug, like your any channels, any kind of Instagram, where can people find you?
Danny Kelly Official on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's Danny Kelly TV.
And obviously I'll have the links on in the bio when we go on. But listen, Danny, pleasure, man. Honestly, absolute pleasure, brother. Brilliant.
Thanks for getting us on, bro. Big love.
Big love.
Thank
back,
you,
brother.